Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like doing this shit. We used to do this shit back I don't know. That's just how we used to do it. I don't know. It was I did this because of I did this because my head. I ended up locking it. Yo, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even think I had hair. My shit was getting all low right here, and from wearing hats and do rags and shit. Here I am now with. I ain't gonna call them dreadlocks because I still got to get down to the origin of the shit. You know what I'm saying? So, of what dreadlocks really means because it's a significant meaning to it. So I wouldn't even just call it straight up dreadlocks. But man, I just did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just feeling free like that. I'm feeling like I don't give a fuck. Welcome, peace. Positive energy activates constant elevation. That's ascent to our higher selves because I have, goddammit. And when I say that, that means that there's certain things again that I'm looking at so differently every day. Even with my evolution, I'm always fascinated how I've evolved because it's a celebration. And I hope it's a celebration for you and y'all doing good. Y'all taking care of yourselves. You're ascending with the earth. Going into the fifth dimension. Which is why they're doing all these vaccines. I'm gonna do a show, hopefully next, about current events. I really don't be talking about it enough, so I'm gonna do that. But today, it's funny. Let me talk about the Dawes Effects. That's a group from back in the day. That was who I was just playing for the youngins out there who don't know them. They did the fast twist rapping and shit from Brooklyn and shit. But they were big. They had that song that was huge in the early '90s. But I did a show with them maybe about 12 years ago. And I was so drunk. And I already had met him backstage before the show. But I was so drunk, I passed out. And I woke up. I think Books was one of the members. I was like, yo, you look mad familiar, yo. Yeah, I'm like, yo, and I'm trying to come to my senses, like, that's dude, you know what I'm saying? But I can't. Oh man, there's been a lot of drunk moments that are hilarious that I remember. That it's funny because I don't look at it as a bad thing at all. What happened here? Um. So. So yeah, today, man, my computer, man, I need to clean this computer. It's a regular desktop, not my laptop. This is why I record my music. Speaking of music, man, I got a lot of music right now that I'm recording. I'm in a fucking zone. Go to my SoundCloud, Cody Knox, KODEKNOX, KODEKNOX, and my Instagram. But yo, lyrically, I went to another level in rapping, you know? And it's crazy because I stopped rapping because I felt like I wasn't getting enough accolades or like, yeah, and then there's just too many people rapping. But there is something special about rapping because only you could create it as your art. But the zone that I'm in right now, man, I'm killing shit. Go peep it. I just did this song last night, man. I worked on it for like 8 hours. It's called Who Am I? I really went crazy on that song. I'm talking to my son. Speaking of my son, let me give a quick update. I'm doing well because see, I like to stay in the present moment. I like to acknowledge who I am. Make sure that I'm comfortable who I am. Do these check-ins. Do this priming to see where I'm at. Mind, body, and soul wise. And sometime last month I disconnected I disconnected from that for a little bit. I was on fire for a minute, man, but I lost myself. But I'm regaining back everything. Man, wifey's doing well. She's beautiful as ever. But I wanted to talk about attachments, and that's why I brought my son up, because this generation of children is very different. Obviously, they've seen things that we didn't witness. And when I say we, I'll say the Generation X, 35 and up. They just seen things a little differently. But coming from all these different decades, man, it's just I don't know what's worse, honestly, because even the people my age is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight like that. And that's not no judgment, because, we all have our own journeys. I wanted to be on the journey of helping people and shit like that. But I can't help people who don't want to help themselves. That's just impossible. I can't save anyone. I thought that maybe I couldn't save people from themselves. But in telling them to go to their higher selves, people don't really understand what that means, because they're not there yet, or they're not really trying to get there. And I'm not trying to force it. That's why I'd rather not give these messages to people I know. But even if they are checking, peace to you. But I'm not trying to do this convincing, because you either have it in you or you don't. That's just plain no way. And even like someone like my son, he might not have it in him, to not even go on a spiritual journey like me or anything like that, but to actually know himself and find knowledge of himself, or knowledge of self. Because I'm past the knowledge part. I'm very knowledgeable. I even feel past the intelligence part. And if you take that as cocky or egotistical or narcissistic, fuck you. Straight up, because there's nothing I could do about that. That don't have nothing to do with me, because I'm not thinking on that level. And I want to talk a little bit about ego, if I remember. But my son is choosing to find his own way. And it's not like I haven't been doing that. And showing him how to find his way and find himself, and really understanding that it starts with you. Anything we do, anything we say, everything's a reflection of you. And when I say this, it's turning into cliche, because people are saying it, people don't really understand the depth of what that truly means, because they're detached from themselves. So it sounds pretty foreign. Even with someone like our children, or our loved ones, but we have these emotional attachments to them, and physical attachments to them too. And I realized that, attachments are not, even when coming into my own, attachments are expectations, and it leads to suffering, where, we can't do without this person, and our life is destroyed if we don't have something. Like, for instance, money. Money is an attachment. There's times where, there's times we can't even go a day without thinking about money. But the shit ain't even in our hands. It's not even around us. We'll look at something and think that it's valuable, but it has no value. Shit, your melanin is more valuable. And that melanin is intelligence. You gotta understand that. But with attachments, see, when people are running from themselves, they want to hurt you to to make it seem like, or like they detach themselves from you and run away from you as if you are the issue. But it always starts with you, no matter who it is. And this goes for my son, it goes for anyone. It goes for along the lines of, where is your journey? And everyone that we meet, everyone that we come in contact with is part of the journey, whether you like it or not. And even if it's for a second, there can be thoughts that happen that we really thought of the person we just saw. So I'm not attached to the thought of my son or my brother or my sister, of the title of them. Their title as family members is more important than me loving myself. This is true freedom. This is where freedom comes into place, where I detach myself from those emotions. I took myself out of my family, like I said in other episodes, but I even went out my way to ask about my son to another relative, and they didn't respond, but I didn't even have no expectation for them to respond, because I don't have the attachment to them and an attachment to them emotionally anymore, because I have put a lot of energy into that so many times that I lose who I am in the process of trying to find me within somebody else. So if someone isn't loyal like me, who isn't loving and caring like me, then I feel hurt by them because they're not like me. So there's no attachment to these people or objects or things that I have no control over. I don't use fear tactics. I rather use tactics of logic, because when things come are projected through malice and a vengeance, it doesn't come with purity, and things could turn fucked up because of that, because you come in with some bad energy pretty much. And I've always broken myself down trying to connect, whether it even be my son and beefing with his moms and shit like that, going through all those motions where I'm losing myself and fighting a battle that isn't even there. I don't want to fight anyone, and there's still a battle within me. And I've mastered myself, and now for the past month, I've been going through a turmoil with myself based off of trying to save other people. But that's why it's important to save yourself, because that's what I'm doing. I'm saving myself. So the attachment is not there anymore. It's freedom from the attachments, no matter who it is, what it is, because life must go on and everything must come to an end. Every single thing must come to an end, and even death. I remember I asked my son one time, if I die, blah, blah, blah. He barely flinched, He barely acknowledged that if I died, it didn't even matter. Or he never even gave me a present before. I remember I used to draw for my mom's and give her a picture and just color it and give it to my mom, just because I want her to feel good about me giving her something. My son never gave me anything. And that's where I started to realize how much I've given and how much time and effort I've put into him, with no expectation of him returning something for me. Because, right, some parents would be like, yo, you owe me something, you owe me. That young man owes himself his greatest experience, the greatest version of himself, if he could do it. Because I've done it, and that's where I'm at. And so I can't put myself in a position to compromise that based off of someone's insecurities, no matter who it is. Because in this spiritual warfare, in this transition, and this great awakening that's happening in My mind has to be clear from attachments and fear. So there's no fear as to who I am becoming. That's why I can be free and say what the fuck I want on here, because I don't give a shit. Now I'm going into this space where I understand that a lot of this shit don't mean nothing. It doesn't have value. I have value. This is the first time in my life that I'm putting myself first. I never put myself first. That's why I'm telling y'all that I got away from people, because I have this expectation of them getting in contact with me and telling me they love me. But that wouldn't happen, because that's not who they are. But they show me exactly who they are to me. So I'm going to show how much this doesn't mean anything to me anymore. It did at one point. These relationships, no matter who it was with, was important and significant to my growth. These are moments that I cherish, but I'm not attached to them no more, to the point where I need to keep mentioning them for the sake of mentioning them. It's more so like there might be a great memory where we were dancing or acting or stuff like that when we were younger, or music. But now that I've come into my own and really understanding that this human shit is overrated, and there's a lot of emotions and narcissism and egotistical people out here. And I'm not on that shit, because I don't give a fuck about your ego. Shit. The first thing I'm gonna do before I deal with anybody, no matter if it's my children or my child or whoever it is, I'm gonna be real with myself first. And I have to be authentic and true to myself and respect myself and love myself first, no matter what. Because I have put so many people ahead of me all my life, including my child. This is my chance and opportunity now to understand that I did all I can do as a human, as a humanitarian. And going into this type of consciousness, I'm realizing that there's a difference between consciousness and humanitarian. When I felt like I ascended, and I did ascend, it was based off of I fulfilled my duties as a humanitarian. So now at this point, I don't give a fuck about saving people like I was before. I want to help people get to their higher selves, but people aren't coming because they might get I'm saving them type of vibe. But people don't realize I'm gonna be as blunt as possible, direct with you as possible if we deal on a one-on-one. I'm not sugarcoating shit. And that's why a lot of people are running from the truth, because I make you see you. Because I see me, and I know what's in my mind. I know where I come from. I know that this shit, this 3D shit, ain't it. Love yourself, respect yourself. Say it with me. I love myself. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Peace and love, y'all. 100.